Welcome to an all-new episode of the live stream, Be the Boss of Your Money. Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Mitch Goldberg. I'm a financial advisor with over 30 years of experience. And this live stream is where I get to share with you decades of experience, lessons, mistakes, everything with you. It's all about personal finance so that you could actually be the boss of your money. Take control of your money, not letting your money take control of you. It's very easy for that to happen. So welcome. This is your place to learn. It's all about educational information, content. We talk about investing. We talk about business strategy, financial, budgeting, you name it. We're covering it today. Today's specialty, I want to get rid of the word budget. It's kind of like diet. It's restrictive. People cringe when they hear it. We need to come up with a new word to give you a better way to think about budgeting. Ooh, I said it again. I hate the word. I do have a better word for you. The other thing I want to do is I want to talk to you about a quick update in the market. What happened? Used to be if Monday was down, we'd have turnaround Tuesday. The market would go up. But yesterday, the market soared. Today, things backed off a little bit. Why did that happen? Does it mean anything major is going on? Or is it just a normal give back after what is really a very good day the day before? So we're going to roll the intro. We're going to get with it and stick around. This is going to be good. Hey there, folks. Great to see you. Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Mitch. You're watching Be the Boss of Your Money. It's my live stream all about personal finance. If you're watching this in the live right now, and if you have any questions, ask me in the comments. I love hearing from you. It's the best part of what I do. So please ask your questions. I am happy to answer them. And if you're watching this in the replay, I'd like to welcome you as well. Certainly, if you have any questions, hit me up in the comments. I will definitely see those. I'll get the notifications, and I look forward to answering your questions as well. Words of wisdom, words of encouragement, they are always appreciated on Be the Boss of Your Money. The first thing we need to do is take a look at just the news. The news keeps getting better. And one of the things we talk about is not just the latest financial news, but we dissect the news because most of it is noise. We have to separate what we need to know from what the rest of the noise is. And I am giving you here in this show what I think are the important stories that shape the markets, that shape your life. The markets are important because ultimately it's the markets that are delivering value over the long term that allow us to retire, send our kids to school, things like that. That's why I put such a strong focus on investing and the market. It's really not about giving you the hot stock of the day or what I think is going to do well next week. I could do that, but I think it's more important to give you an education so that you could find these things out yourself. I want to show you what I think is the most important news point of the day. It just came out literally about 60 seconds before I hit the go live button. And here it is. You see that? All right. Do you see that over here? I'm over here in the corner. Okay. White House moves up vaccine supply timeline, says U.S. will have enough for every adult by the end of May. Bam! That is crazy significant. I think that deserves a round of applause. All right. Let's hear it for the vaccine. The news also contributing to that is Merck is going to help Johnson & Johnson manufacture the vaccine, a lot of vaccine. So things are moving along so well. The news out today about the Pfizer vaccine, by the way, it's now coming in. You could look it up yourself. It's on the news. There's only so much news you want me to put up on the screen. The Pfizer vaccine, the first dose, is even better at fighting against COVID. It's even more effective than originally thought. So you think about all the people that only got one jab of the Pfizer vaccine. Now, I can't say if that says anything about the Moderna vaccine. They are very similar. They're both RNA vaccines, though. Okay, so just want to point that out. So let's get back into it. There are a few of you out there. Let me just take a look. We've got Jillian. Thank you so much. I see you out there. That's good to see you. And congratulations on your anniversary of Jillian Circus. Jillian is one of the very first guests that I ever had on my live stream. And we are going to do it again if you'll allow me to have you as my guest again. There's a few other people out there. If you are out there and you give me a like, I'll see your name. It would be great to know who's out there. And, it's more fun that way. If you're shy and you don't want to, that's okay also. But the news coming out is so significant. We've been talking about things that could go right in the economy. Retail sales, manufacturing, the service sector. Literally, everything's coming up roses. And you want to see something else that's really cool? And this is not something that you expect to see every day, okay? Lyft says it just had its best week for rides since the pandemic lockdowns began. I can't imagine that it's too. I can't imagine that that's too different than Uber. So people are traveling again. Texas is lifting restrictions. I think I saw the headline before. Alabama, Mississippi, lifting restrictions. I hope it works out. I hope you don't go into another spread of the virus and more lockdowns because of the variant. The CDC would like to see a lot more people get vaccinated over the next month or two, maybe three, and then open up. So it's kind of tough, but I'm going to tell you something that you might not have known about Moderna. That's the other company that created the vaccine. There's Pfizer, there's Moderna, and recently Johnson & Johnson. But Pfizer and Moderna use a technology called RNA technology. Do you know that when China figured out the genetic sequence of the virus and gave it to the world, 2 days later, Moderna developed the vaccine. It's the same vaccine a year later that people are getting jabbed with now. It was 2 days to make the vaccine and about 11 months to do the testing and getting that through the FDA process, the regulatory process. So if you think about what they could do, it's kind of like the RNA part of the drug. From what I understand, it's like plug and play. You could take a part out and replace it with the new genetic sequence of a variant of the COVID virus, of the virus that causes COVID, the coronavirus, and plug that back in, and voila, you've got yourself an updated vaccine. It is really a marvel. And from what I understand, the key was, because the technology's been known about for a long time, the key to solving the last mile of this vaccine was that you have to keep it very, very cold, deep freeze. So that's much ado about a couple of things out there. So let's see who else is out there. Andrew is out there. Andrew coming to us from Houston. I'm glad you got your lights back and everybody is up and running there. I hope not too many of your friends had burst pipes and destroyed houses. I know you got through it pretty good, and I'm really, really happy to hear about that. Okay, so let's go on. A couple of other things to talk about. Let's just take a look. The next big hot stock, the next short stock to go up and rocket higher is rocket companies. Have you heard of Rocket Mortgage? Okay, that's Rocket Companies, RKT in the New York Stock Exchange. The stock was up over 70% today. You see that, 71%. It's off a little bit in aftermarket trading, but that is a massive run, not far from a double. Why? There's no known news about what caused this to go up. And analysts who said they were somewhat optimistic, somewhat bullish on the stock, have come out and said they don't see anything that would justify a move like this based on any fundamentals. What's happening? Wall Street Bets on Reddit, talking about it, commenting. It has about a 40% short position. And what you're seeing here now is short covering, another short squeeze. Does it go on? Does it last? Is it another GameStop? Probably not. GameStop was an unusual position where it was so shorted and the leverage is so much that 140% of the shares are shorted. So with GameStop, there were more shares being shorted than there were actual shares in existence. It's not the same thing here, but you never know. We'll have to see how it looks tomorrow. If you're already in it, congratulations. You made a ton of dough on it. If you're not in it, my personal feeling is, make sure it's money that you could afford to lose. Buyer beware. Okay. I'm not here to tell you what you can and can't do. That's really not my thing in life. Okay. What I'm here to do is to help guide you. So let's take a look at the major averages. Yesterday, we had a 600-point up day in the Dow. About a quarter of it was given back today. Dow down 145. NASDAQ down a lot, down 230, down 1.69%. It's about half of what it gained yesterday. The problem with that is, do you really trust the rally? I mean, do you trust it? And that's the thing with these giant rallies. I've said this a million times. If you're a viewer of this live stream or the show, I can call it a show, right? I don't like to see huge up days after huge down days or a bad down week or two, because it's just, when you get one, it's just like a reaction the next day that is also magnified. I prefer to see slow, steady gains that could stick, that investors are willing to hold, not a market that's up so much that it becomes a sellable trade the next day, right? I want the market to be in strong hands, not weak hands. I hope that makes sense. S&P off 0.81%. I'll show you why, what really drove the market, okay? Gold was up a little bit. Finally, gold catching a bid. Gold is at a funny place. And I saw one analyst who I'm connected to on LinkedIn talk about this. He said, gold is either going to break down or rebound, but it's hard to tell because there's no trend yet. It's at an inflection point. We'll see how it goes. Oil is under 60, but it's had a big run. But if it goes much under 60, that means the little nice run we had in oil stocks maybe starts to back off a little bit. The 10-year Treasury continuing to go back down after hitting 1.6%, now down to 1.39%. The VIX, let's just run to the VIX, up a little bit, 24. I think once it hits 25, that starts to spook a little people. So we'll see how it goes, okay? Bonds, the 10-year yield, that's the main one to focus on. We just went over 1.39%. The 1-month T-bill, 0.04%. So you see there's a pretty big spread between 2.2% and 0.04% for the 1 month. So it's a pretty steep yield curve. There's something that the Fed may do. The Federal Reserve doesn't want to the Federal Reserve does not want to be perceived as having lost control of the bond market. And that's really important because the Fed has taken over the bond market. It basically has the Federal Reserve of the United States has a $7 trillion bond portfolio. So it's the biggest bond fund in the world, if you will, by far. And they don't want to be perceived as having lost control of the bond market. Maybe they can't buy much. So what they could do is do Operation Twist. This was last done in 2011, where they sell short-term bonds to maybe goose up a little some of the shorter-term bond yields. And they take that money and they buy longer-dated bonds like 10-year Treasury and 30-year Treasuries to get longer-term yields down. The net effect is the balance sheet of the Federal Reserve stays flat. They're just swapping out of short-term into long-term to help flatten the yield curve a little bit. We don't want the yield curve too flat because if that happens, that's bad for bank stocks. And since I've been pounding the table saying that a steepening yield curve is great for bank stocks historically, I want to be right, okay? But if I'm wrong, I will change course and let you know. Cryptocurrency. Crypto, Bitcoin, Bitcoin, Coinbase was off about 5.5%. It's getting pretty volatile. It hit that $50,000 plus mark, mid-50s, and it just seems to be, I guess, a little stuck. I'm not complaining. The stock is up a hell of a lot in the last year, but, it seems to be getting stuck a little bit. What worked in the Dow? The reason the Dow didn't go down as much as the other averages is because Dow Chemical. We spoke about that yesterday, how I said that stock has just been such a furious workhorse over the last few months. Merck was up a touch, didn't really contribute much. There were no great contributors to the Dow except for Dow Chemical. And let's take a look at what didn't work. Intel, Apple, Salesforce.com, Microsoft, Cisco. The tech stocks were up big yesterday. They were down big today. Simple as that. Not down as much as they were up yesterday, but nevertheless, that's why. How did the FANG stocks do? If you take a look at this, now you'll understand why the S&P went down and the NASDAQ. These are the 5 biggest stocks. FANG M, that's Facebook, Amazon, Alphabet, Netflix, Google, and Microsoft. 6 stocks. The 6 biggest, Google was down, Netflix, Microsoft, Apple, Facebook, they were all down. It's really hard for the market to actually go up when these 5 heavyweights are down, unless you get a combined, very strong performance from economically sensitive stocks, which are all smaller representation in the S&P 500. So today, you had materials up. That was the only sector that was yesterday. All 11 sectors are up, but materials are down. Staples are off a little. Industrials. You would need industrials, financials, and energy all up to counteract a negative day for tech stocks, basically. But, there were no disasters today. Well, technology got hit pretty hard, down 1.5%. But that's a pretty volatile space anyway. That's why we in the financial services industry consider tech to be riskier, because it's so volatile, even though technology is what has saved everybody in their portfolios over the last year, since the pandemic started about a year ago. Okay. And we already went over the news. White House. Well, I'm supposed to be sharing my screen the whole time, but that's okay. All right. So industrials, materials, rather, we group that up. We're up. We already went over this. White House moves up vaccine supply timeline, enough for everybody who wants a jab by May. Let me get rid of that. Okay. So I want to talk to you about budgeting, and just to see if anyone else is out there. If you have any questions, folks, you got to hit me up. I mean, I'm here to answer your financial, investing, personal finance questions. You have a question about an IRA, Roth IRAs. These are all the things that we talk about. So hashtag AMA. Ask me anything. Hashtag. Is this a cootie shot or a hashtag? You decide. So the word budgeting, and we're wrapping things up pretty quickly here. The word budgeting has a connotation of being somewhat negative. It's like restrictive. You're going on a strict budget. You're not going to spend anything. You are not going to get. You're not going to get any hits of dopamine. No Shoppers High. No cappuccino. No guac. No double guac. I'm telling you, you are going to be so restricted. Those shoes that were looking a little worn out before the pandemic started, you're wearing those again this spring when we start going out again. No, really, I don't like the word budget, because even though a budget is actually supposed to empower you. You see, a budget is not supposed to just be restrictive. It's supposed to make you feel good. A budget is a good thing. It's supposed to actually make you feel good, because you are prioritizing. You're spending money on what you think is very important in your life, on the things that should make your life better. That's what a budget is. And I want you to actually have a budget that makes sense. By the way, folks, you're watching Be the Boss of Your Money. If you have any questions, certainly ask me in the comments. So I want you to have a different mindset when it comes to budget. I'm looking over here because I just want to make sure my timing is okay. Instead of thinking of the word budget, think of the word priorities. Okay. A budget is about your priorities. And if you prioritize things in your life, you prioritize when you get up in the morning, you prioritize getting to work on time. So many priorities. You prioritize your family, your friends. Okay. I want you to prioritize not just your overall money, but prioritize on spending money only on the things that really bring you value, and prioritize steps to take today that will deliver a goal that will bring you value, like saving money. You see, saving money is not a goal. I know you're thinking, but I'm saving money, I'm spending less. No. Saving money is a result of your actions. Spending less money is hard to do because it's just like, well, what am I going to spend less money on? And if you haven't made the decision on what you're going to spend less money on, it doesn't work. And saying you're not going to go to Starbucks and spend $4 on a cappuccino, that's not what's going to really make or break it. I'm not saying that doesn't indicate discipline. So that part I understand. No, what I'm saying is you have to prioritize in advance. When you take steps, so it's not a matter of saving is a goal, saving is a result. You have to prioritize now. You have to prioritize now in advance what you're going to spend money on. It doesn't mean you can never go out to dinner again. It doesn't mean you have to go on the spaghetti diet. You know what that is, right? When you eat spaghetti every day for 30 days and see what you saved. You could try that, but I don't suggest doing that for the long term. Elon Musk went on the ramen diet for a long time, though, and things did work out pretty good for him. I mean, he is like the richest man in the world now, right? Maybe the ramen diet isn't such a bad idea. You know, I've been dying to use that sound effect like all day. I've been dying to use that. So oh my God, I finally got it. I feel so good. So what I want you to do is think in terms of, instead of budgeting, start prioritizing. And this way you'll spend money on things that bring you value. Priority is about creating value. What are the most important things you need to do now? That's priority. It's so I'm kind of beating the dead horse with a stick here. No offense to dead horses. Yeah, that epic fail on that one. Okay, so that's it. We have a comment out here. We've got Ron. I'm always amazed how much month is left at the end of the money. Well said. People say, you know, there's an old expression, I run out of money before I run out of month. It's like time, right? It's people say they don't have enough time for things. No, it's not that you don't have enough time for things. It's that you didn't prioritize your time properly starting at the beginning of the day. It's not a matter of scheduling, right? Time budgeting is not scheduling. Because when you time budget, you schedule too many things in the day. You don't get through the day. You feel like failure. It's not a good feeling, and you fall behind. It's the same thing with budgeting with money. So get rid of the word budget. Budget is like the word diet. It's restrictive. What I want you to do is think in terms of prioritizing, because you prioritize what's important to you, and that's what creates the process. If you're going to say, I'm not going to spend a lot of money today, I'm going to spend very little money today, that's one thing. But if you didn't actually say at the beginning of the day what you're going to actually spend money on, you're probably going to spend money on too many different things that don't bring you value because you didn't prioritize from the outset. That is the way budgeting should be thought of. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you tomorrow. Have a wonderful rest of your day.